you know. They are friendly people. So it is not always threatening to interact with the robots. They can be very friendly if you take it something in constructive sense. You should not have any bias towards them. It is not only about robotics, it is about all the technologies. Initially, whenever a new innovation technology comes, especially the lawyers or the social scientists in general have some biases towards new innovation technologies. And with the passage of time, what happens? They get used to it. You can see when the mobile phone technology was there, you can see in the case of photography. Yes, in the beginning of the photography, many people were against it. In the beginning of the mobile phone, many people had reservations against it, and so on. And another important thing is why we should be worried about technology and law. The same question was asked when people were starting environmental law as a new field. So when environmental law was introduced as a new field, people were saying that why we need environmental law? Environmental law is just waste of time. Yes. Why we should be worried about environment at all? And no one was actually trying to, incorporate ecological regulations into their companies internal regulations. And people were openly saying that environment law is just waste of time. But today you can see that all the companies, they are very much conscious about ecology. We are also very much worried about our ecosystem. Yes, government is making new and new laws related to ecology protection. So with the passage of time, we have realized that environment is very important. Environment is very important for the survival of mankind, for our next generations who are coming. So environment law is now a full-fledged area of legal sciences. Even some countries have made a law that as the companies do financial audit, we know financial audit. What is financial audit? Every country requires from the companies to submit a financial audit report, which says that how they collected money and how they spent the money. Similarly, now it is a law, established law by many countries, that you should submit your environmental audit report. Environmental audit report tells us that how much you has destroyed the environment, or how much your company has impacted on our ecosystem. So environment law has become very important. Similarly, if we talk about corporate social responsibility, does anyone know what does it mean by corporate social responsibility? Have you heard about this word, corporate social responsibility? Anyone knows corporate social responsibility? What is corporate social responsibility? Hello? Are we still connected? Students, are you here with me?
Yes,
No?
Dr. Ammar.
Yes. So I was asking from the students that do they know about corporate social responsibility? What does it mean by corporate social responsibility? No? Okay, the corporate social responsibility, uh, it is a kind of self-regulation, and the company wants its employees to be happy, and they take responsibility towards the company's employees. Yes, so they support them in their difficult times. It is like uh, In Soviet system also there was a concept, similar concept of corporate social responsibility. uh, Profsayuz. uh, in a company there is an organization who take cares of the employees if something went wrong. For example, if someone has some sort of disease and he needs treatment, they will help him. If someone is getting married, so they will help him. So it was a old concept, but currently we are talking about corporate social responsibility, which means that the corporations should not treat their employees as slaves, but they should take care of their well-being, which includes everything related to their mental and physical and economical and social health. So previously, no one was talking about corporate social responsibility. The law was unable to incorporate, but now the new laws are coming and companies and governments are becoming more and more responsible towards the people who are working in their companies. So corporate social responsibility is something very serious now. Uh, the female employees should be given equal salary as of male employee. Female should not face any discrimination. If a female give birth to a baby, she should get maternity leave. Some countries are given even paternity leave to the husbands, that the female goes for maternity leave. Similarly, the husband will also get paternity leave. So all of these are the benefits of corporate social world, corporately socially responsible world. Previously, no one was talking about corporate social responsibility. No one was talking about environmental law, but today they are very important. Similarly, today is no one is interested in artificial intelligence law or artificial intelligence ethic. Lawyers, companies, and governments think that it is waste of time. It is just blah blah blah. We are uh, very beyond, we are far beyond the actual problems, but nothing is late. We should start thinking about artificial intelligence law, artificial intelligence morality and ethics today, so that in future we will have a strong legal basis for this. And I have already quoted the example of environment and corporate social responsibility, that initially no one was worried about it, but today everyone is concerned about environment and corporate social responsibility. Similarly, there is a need to think about artificial intelligence law. So this is the point which I was trying to make, that whenever there is a new innovation, law disturbs. It is like a splash in the water. There is a pond, there is a river. You are standing on the river, you throw a stone. This stone is a new innovation technology into the river of law. There is a splash. We are now living in the moment of splash. And with the passage of time, you will see that new laws will develop and our legal system will flourish, and our legal system will be able to accommodate the new innovation technologies. So this was the person, his name is Edward Ludham or Ned Ludd. Ned Ludd was the person when the industrial revolution started. When the industrial revolution started, what happened? Many companies started replacing humans with machines. They started installing machines. So Ned Ludd was the person who started a revolution against those companies who were installing machines. And he said that when the machines will come into the companies, there will be no job for humans. Humans will be replaced by the machines. So that's why we need to get rid of these machines. So these people, whom later people call as Luddites from the name of the Ned Ludd, these were the people who actually revolted against these companies, and they attacked on these firms and industrial complexes who had installed these machineries, and they started destroying these machines. They started destroying these machines by saying that if machine will be there, our job will lose. Yes, we will lose our job. So they thought that in order to protect their jobs, they need to destroy these machines. Today also, if a person is against new innovation technologies, or if a person is against technological innovations in general, we call this person as a Luddite. We say that he's a Luddite because he doesn't like machines. Some people say that nothing new is happening. This is just the reincarnation of what we already had. And if you go back into the history, mankind has done numerous innovations, and these innovations are not technologically possible, or they are astonishing in nature. Scientists, especially civil engineers, they, whenever they look at these constructions or the building made by the mankind 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, they still don't find the answer that how the human was able to make these, buildings and structures. So some people think that the new innovation technologies is nothing new. It is just the reincarnation or revival of what we already had been experiencing since thousands of years. But when we look at these sort of pictures circulating on social media, people who are related to manual labors, including the lawyers, I would say, because much of the work which is done by the lawyers is manual labor. Many people who are now, engaged in manual labor, they should be worried about their jobs because there will be no jobs for them in future. And these sort of pictures, when we saw on internet, we actually start thinking about our future as a lawyer, that will there be job for lawyer in future or not. And when we read these sort of news, this is a news from China in 2019. There was an actual court in which both parties were represented by a robot. Means the prosecution and defense both were lawyers, and the robot itself was a judge. So the judge was a robot, the prosecution and the defense, both sides were robot, and they decided an actual case. And after that, there are millions of cases which has been decided by the cyber courts, robot lawyers, robot judges. Yes, many cases now in China are being resolved in cyber courts, and all over the world, many institutions have installed autonomous systems for mediation and arbitration and so on. So whenever we see these sort of incidents, whenever we see these sort of news circulating on social media or internet, we need to think that are we lagging beyond in comparison to other part of the world or not. This is not something new. To make new laws is not very difficult for the law. Our legal system has traditionally been accommodating something which are supernatural, metaphysical, superstitious, or anything you can name them. For example, fortune tellers. What are the fortune tellers? Fortune tellers are the people who tell your future. So previously, or at present also, if you go to Charsu Bazaar, I saw a lady. She was sitting there and she was doing the same stuff. They can tell you by looking at the cards. They look at the cards and they can tell you that when you will get married, when you will get money, when you will when you will get a job, etc. Yes. So fortune telling in many countries, there are laws related to fortune telling. um, I have given reference to these two cases. You can go and Google them and see about them. They actually do a discussion that fortune telling is a service, it is a profession, and it should be legally regulated. So the point which I'm trying to make is that if as a lawyer we are able to make laws related to fortune telling or magic, yes, if we can make laws related to magic or fortune telling, why cannot we make laws related to artificial intelligence or robotics or new innovation technologies? Why it is very difficult? Magic is not tangible. Magic is something you cannot feel with your hands. But in terms of artificial intelligence or autonomous robotics or 5G, cloud computing, big data, they have their physical manifestations. It shouldn't be very difficult for the lawyers to make laws related to new innovation technologies. Or if we talk about sniffer dogs, It is just a dog. Yes, it is just a dog, but this dog is trained and he can sniff narcotics or food items, plants and vegetables and blah blah blah. So even explosives, yes, they are trained to sniff explosive. There are laws related to sniffer dogs in our legal system. So many countries are taking them very seriously. Some of the countries have given them even equal rights as the rights of their military personnel. For example, they also get um different designations, for example captain, major, lieutenant, or these sort of things. These dogs, they actually have these official posts. Yes, so when we can treat these animals just because they are useful for mankind, I think that it wouldn't be a problem for our legal system or political system to accommodate artificial intelligence. I think I made my point clear. Did you understand this point? Hello? Or it is only me who is speaking? Did you understand the point which I tried to make right now? Abdullah, Abdul Basid, Ahmad John, Anwar John, Olim John, El Noura, Gul John, Jalaluddin. Are you here?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes.
I'm listening. I'm listening, but unfortunately, I don't know this term.
Okay, you
So,
uh, you don't
yes.
want to answer, it's okay, but you can just reply to my question, yes or no.
I don't know. I don't know about this term, about this termination.
Yes, you can, my I just wanted to check that my voice is clear. Am I audible or not? So you can just say yes or no whenever I ask a question, so that I can understand that you are here with me. Okay.
Huh? Okay, okay.
So the point which I am trying
So,
to make that the point which I am
mm,
trying to make that the lawyers have made laws related to magic. Lawyers have made laws related to fortune telling. Law has, we have laws related to these sniffer dogs. Yes. So it shouldn't be very difficult for us to make laws related to artificial intelligence, because already we have so many laws related to non-physical bodies like magic. So the substance matter is not tangible as the artificial intelligence. It shouldn't be a problem for our legal system to accommodate the demand of artificial intelligence in future. Uh, and this sort of questions, for example, this person, her name is Sophia. Sophia also demanded a baby. She said, I need a baby also. And if you go on internet, you can find the Sophia has an avatar also, which will help Sophia in the meta. We know that Facebook is now changed to Meta, and Meta is the virtual reality, and in cyberspace human will be interacting through their avatars. So these sort of questions are still there, and we are trying to answer them. For example, this question: will buying and selling of conscious robots considered as slavery? What do you think? Do you have an answer to this, or you have your opinion, or you want to comment on this? Hello? Probably no. Okay. Why no? The lawyer should have a reason.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Ammar Younas. Thank you so much for giving us such great lectures. So my name is Barakatullah Hazimi.
Mhm.
Well, to this question, I think it requires a very big reasoning, including including several like affairs, for example, from emotional side that we differ from them a lot, like robots versus human beings. And as to this question, I think it's not gonna be slavery, but it's probably gonna be illegal use of robots because of stealing them or something like that.
In certain jurisdictions, the pets which the animals which you keep at home, like your dog or your cat, yes, they have they have very serious laws with regard to the protection of animal rights, yes, even the plant rights. Some people, they have started investing emotions into the robots, robot dolls. You can go on internet and you can find numerous examples. In YouTube also you can find some videos. People have actually started marrying with the robots, yes. So you are right that there are so many dimensions to answer this question. Will buying or selling of conscious robots considered as slavery? Well, it depends on the robots also. In today's world, in the today's corporate world, when we are working from morning 9 to 6, many people are already working as a robot and working for salary, which is somehow considered as slavery. So let's see what happens with regard to this question. So legally speaking, people are calling about declaration of global digital human rights. We have a universal declaration of human rights which quotes 30 rights as the basic human rights. Similarly, many people are calling for declaration of global digital human rights, that we need to have some sort of universal document to ensure our digital rights. And one of the very important rights is the right to internet. Right to internet is now considered as basic human rights. Many people are writing on this. They say that as we have right to food, we have right to good health care, we have right to education. Similarly, we should have right to internet. Internet is something which is inevitable. We must have internet, and government should provide internet to the citizen. So what is artificial intelligence? There is no single definition of artificial intelligence. We are living in the era of narrow artificial intelligence. What does it mean, narrow artificial intelligence? Narrow artificial intelligence means when we have a computer which performs a specific function, we call it as a narrow artificial intelligence. In simple word, for example, you have a device which tells you where to go. In Yandex taxi, for example, it tells you go right, go left, where you are going. You have arrived, take 200 meters right or left. So this is an autonomous device and autonomous program, you can say, but it is a narrow artificial intelligence. Narrow artificial intelligence means it can do only a specific function to navigate. Similarly, if we look at the translation device in our mobile phones, we can say that it is also an example of narrow artificial intelligence. Narrow artificial intelligence means it can perform only specific function. You cannot say to this device to cook food for you because it is not programmed to do so. This narrow artificial intelligence device can perform only a specific and narrow function. This was a time in 1997 then IBM's computer defeated the human chess champion, and this was the time when this deep blue computer actually posed a threat for the scientist who previously considered that computer can never be intelligent as a human. So when this chess champion, who was actually from the Russia, word I don't know, grandmaster of chess or something like this, when he was defeated by the computer, then the mankind started taking it seriously, that now we have entered into the era when the computers are more intelligent than humans. So if someone asks you what is artificial intelligence, you will say there is no general definition of artificial intelligence. There are narrow artificial intelligence. Narrow artificial intelligence means they perform specific function. And then we have general artificial intelligence. General artificial intelligence means there will be a computer who will perform all the functions of a human. You will ask him to cook food, he will cook food. You will ask him to drive, he will drive, and so on. And what does it mean by super intelligence? Super intelligence means the biological humans will be outclassed. There will be a system which will, replace the human being. And there are different types of super intelligence. For example, speed super intelligence. Speed super intelligence means there will be a computer who will be able to perform the work of a human, but at a much better speed. For example, you will ask him to write a PhD or your dissertation, he will write it just in a click. So speed superintelligence means there is a possibility that there will be a computer who will be able to perform the human's work at a much better speed. At present also we have speed narrow intelligence. For example, these calculating systems, they can calculate, millions multiplied by millions in a blink of an eye. We can say that they are also speed artificial intelligence, means they can perform the human work on a much better speed. Then collective superintelligence. Collective superintelligence means there will be small computers or small systems, and if we calculate their collective work, it will be much more better than a single human. So it is like thousands of Newtons and Einstein, and if we calculate their work together, it will be their input in terms of collective superintelligence. And if we talk about quality superintelligence means there will be computers which can perform the human's work at a much better quality. At present also we have quality artificial intelligence software which can perform the work of a human at a much better quality. For example, if you have to draw something, there are programs like Coral Draw and other software are available who can draw much better than a human, who can make the map or architectural designs. They can make them at a much better speed, at a much better quality as a human. Yes. So this graph shows the progression of computing, and on the right side there are calculations per second. On the x-axis you can see the exponential growth of computing, and by the time 2000 we had a computer which was much intelligent as the brain of an insect. And by the time presently I can say that we have a computer which is much intelligent as the brain of a mouse. So in terms of computing, we are observing exponential growth. What does it mean by exponential growth? It's mean that it is not 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 and 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. Exponential growth means 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, 4 multiplied by 4 is 16, 16 multiplied by 16, like this. There is exponential growth in terms of computing. And if you want to have a visual impression, you can say that human is something on left and artificial intelligence is something on right. So in comparison to artificial intelligence, human is like a chimpanzee. Or in further graphical representation, you can say that the most intelligent man, which is possibly Albert Einstein. Comparison to this, there is a village idiot. But if we say how intelligent artificial intelligence is, artificial intelligence will lie far beyond on this graph on the right hand side. Everything is interconnected. There is a possibility that in future everything will have, you know, internet in it. This is called as Internet of Things. Everything will have internet in it. Everything will be connected with each other, and we will be living in one digital world. To some extent, we are already living in one digital world. So yes, is there any question? Okay. So this graph shows those of you who are interested in computing, they can understand it, that at present you have computers which are embedded with Core i9. This laptop is Core i3 8th generation, and we already have Core i7 quad, Core i5, yes, Core i9. So these are as intelligent as the brain of a mouse, if you want to compare them. And we know that we have already entered into the era of quantum computing. And this is even interesting graph. Please concentrate on this. This shows us the technological progression. What is happening at present? We are standing here, which is called as artificial narrow intelligence. Yes, artificial narrow intelligence. We are in the era of artificial narrow intelligence, and it is expected that very soon we will achieve artificial general intelligence. And artificial general intelligence means there will be a computer who will be able to perform the work of a human as a human. And then there is a possibility that we will have artificial super intelligence, which means that there will be a system which will be able to perform the work of a human much better than a human. And here you can see that human 2 is very interesting phenomena. I recently discussed it in a master class at your university. Human 2, by the way, you can Google all of these words on Google, and you can read more about this. So what is human 2? Human 2 is an understanding of the human condition when we will no longer need a normal human body. So human 2 is that we will be able to, shift our consciousness to a machine. Yes. Okay. So are you still with me?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Do you have any question? You can ask questions as well, so that I can take a break and I can understand that you are listening. No questions? Okay. Or there is a question? Okay. So this graph shows the progression of technology. This graph shows the progression of technology, which means that in future we will have all of these things. You can see cyber war, energy, internet, money to like cryptocurrencies are already there, and digital currency is already there. But these things on the peak, they are very interesting. Like after achieving artificial general intelligence, when we will achieve artificial super intelligence, then there is a possibility of space colonization, or there is a possibility of de-extinction. Means the mankind will finish. There will be Qiyamah. It is possible, or there will be, the mankind will start living to another planet, or there is a possibility that a new version of mankind will arrive. This is not what I am saying. This is what scientists are saying. And this graph, hype cycle for artificial intelligence of this year, with the passage of time, you can say that the expectations, what we are expecting from the artificial intelligence, I will not go into this I will share these slides, you can read it later on. And then yes, tell me the year you think that there will be 50% chance that machines will have human level intelligence. So a rough idea is that by the year 2045, we will have a computer which will be as intelligent as the mind of a human being. There are some issues. For example, if we have another corona or pandemic or a world war, then the speed might be slow. But what I am observing, or what you are observing, by the scientific innovations, you can say that it is quite possible that very soon we will have a computer which will be much intelligent as a human being. And machine super intelligence will be the last invention human will need to make, because the next inventions will be done by these inventions which are now being made by the humans. So upcoming legal challenges by artificial intelligence. What are some of the challenges by the artificial intelligence? The first challenge for legal system is to give the subjective role of artificial bodies in terms of their substance. At present, legal system recognize two types of personality: natural person, or we call them physical person, and legal person. Yes, fizический лица and юридический лица. These are two types of substance in terms of law. Or what is the subject of civil law? If someone asks you what is the subject of civil law, you will say fizический лица and юридический лица. And in future, many countries are actually trying to introduce a new type of subject of law which is called as digital personhood, as a digital legal personality. And in future we will have natural person, legal person, and digital person. European Union is very seriously agitating this idea. China has recently introduced their personal law. Many other countries, they are actually thinking about giving the status to the robot as a subject of law, which means that in future we will have natural persons, legal persons, and digital persons. Without having digital persons as a separate category, we cannot accommodate the demands of many innovations which are happening in fourth industrial revolution, especially when the autonomous robotics will be there. Still, autonomous decisions are being made by some of the robots, and it is very difficult to accommodate the legal demands of these decisions. This is not something new. As I mentioned earlier, our legal system is ready, and our legal system has previously given so many examples. I also quoted some of the examples in the beginning of the lecture. For example, a rich person, when he dies, he leaves all of his property for his cat or dog. This is not something which is very astonishing for us. It is happening. You can find numerous examples. You can just simply go on internet and Google. You can find that a rich person was there. When he died, he left property for his cat and dog. Now this cat and dog is the owner of the property, and she or he is much richer than a human being. This is even interesting phenomena in South Asia. When we were ruled by the Britishers, you know, the Great Britain ruled India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, many countries in Africa. The period of colonization, when French and British colonies were everywhere, there was a concept, horses are needed by the military or army need horses. So what they would do, they would give a horse to a person to take care of it. And they will also give, I am talking about the Britishers, I am talking about the army will give a horse to a person, and they will ask him to take care of this horse, and also they will give him a land. So this person can do whatever he wants to do with the land. He can grow crops, he can grow rice and wheat, he can make money out of this, and he can spend this money on himself and on the horse. And when this horse will be trained, when this horse will be big, the army will come and will take this horse and give this person a new horse. So the land which they gave to this person, this belonged to the horse. This didn't belong to the person. So horse was the original owner of this land, and the other person, which was a human, was working for this horse. Did you understand what I did, what I said? No? Hello? Okay. So there are some animals, for example, dolphins. Dolphins are considered as very friendly animal. And you know, in your neighboring country, Kyrgyzstan, they opened a dolphinaria, and so many people, they started protesting that why we need this, why we are bringing these cute animals, human-like animals, human-friendly animals, and we are mistreating them, and we don't need this. Like animal right people who, you know, agitate for the animal rights. In some countries, dolphins are actually treated as non-human persons, which means that they have a legal personality. They get rights as a human. If we go to India, there are rivers which are holy river, the Ganges rivers, Ganga and Yamuna. And these Gangas and Yamunas, they are declared human entities, means physical persons. So they have the same rights as the right of a human. You cannot pollute the Ganga and Jamuna. You cannot throw anything into the rivers to make it polluted. Yes. So they enjoy the equal rights as a human. Why I am giving these examples? I am giving these examples to tell you that it will not be a problem for the human, for the jurisprudence, or for our legal system to you know, introduce a new subject of law. It is very much possible. Like physical person, legal person, we will have digital person. It is quite possible, and we have numerous examples in our legal systems when we have given the personalities or legal rights to the non-human beings, and I have given some of these examples. And this is very interesting question: autonomous output of AI, who is the owner? If a robot makes something, if a robot produce something, who will be the owner of this innovation? The robot itself, or the person who invented this robot, the company which has installed this robot, the scientist who thought the idea of this robot? Who is the owner of the autonomous output of AI? Robots are writing algorithms, robots are writing poems, robots are writing books. Who is the owner of these things? Microsoft robot has written a book of poetry. Now many computers are there who have write IBM computer or Google robot. You can find them on internet. You can ask them to produce something for you. There is a very interesting program. I have downloaded it in my you know, um, mobile phone. This is called as Wombo. You can also download it. Wombo, WOMBO, Wombo Art. It is an artificial intelligence program, and which makes very beautiful, you know, art. You can write a word, you can write there Uzbekistan, you can write there you know, artificial intelligence, you can write any word and he will make a picture of it. Its name is Wombo, WOMBO, Wombo. So the point is that robots are actually producing, you know, these uh, autonomous work, which is of their own. So who is the owner of this? And here I went to meet these robots in Microsoft's headquarters. We met with the scientists who actually worked on this project, and they told us that how this you know system works. So do you have an answer to this question, that who will be the owner of autonomous output of artificial intelligence? If robot produce something, who will be the owner? Do you want to comment on this? No comments? Hello?
I think the owner of that product gonna be the owner of the first robot, I think.
Owner of the first?
Yes, which produced the current product, as you said. But this is a simple, as I see in future, when the legislation gonna be improved and would be changed in regarding the robots law, AI law, I think the robots gonna have full autonomy, or full rights over producing and doing some sort of stuff.
Yes, still there are opinions. Um, many people are arguing for this, that the company who manufacture the robot will owe. Many people are saying that the scientists, but many jurisdictions are actually seriously thinking about giving the rights to the robot itself. There is a Chinese version, there is a UK version, there is an American version. You can go on internet and you can find very interesting discussions. People are actually claiming intellectual property rights on the behalf of their robots. So in future, it is quite possible that robot itself will be the owner of whatever he is producing. So let's take a break, a short break, and then we will come back. Okay, dear colleagues, we can begin. Are you there? Yes, no?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So, my friends, this concept which I am going to explain now, it is a bit difficult, complicated, but it can be very helpful for you if you want to pursue a career in technology law. So I recommend you to be very attentive. So how the artificial intelligence works? Artificial intelligence works on the principle of machine learning. Machine learning as a whole, it is called as deep learning. So artificial intelligence is based on the process of machine learning. Machine learning means machine learns from the available data. When the data is fed into the machine process this data, and the output we can say that it is artificial intelligence. It is the layman understanding of artificial intelligence. And the whole process is called as deep learning. So this is the graph which you can memorize this image, and it will help you in understanding what artificial intelligence is. So artificial intelligence is based on machine learning. Machine learning process is done through the artificial neural networks, and this is the process of deep learning. So artificial neural network is the base, you can say. Artificial neural network is the base of machine learning, and the bigger name is, the generalized term is artificial intelligence. Okay, so artificial neural network is, just give me a second please. Sorry. So let's understand the concept of machine learning. Machine learning is like human learning. In our human body also we have the cells which are called as neurons. Yes, so neurons are the cells. Let me show you the neurons first. Neurons are the cells which are in our nervous system. So we take receptors, we take information from outside world, for example through our tongue, through our eyes, through our skin. We get information. This information is processed in our brain and we respond. This is the biological neural network. This is the biological neural network. So you have seen this picture in your 9th class or 10th class biology. Through our neurons we take information, and this information is processed in the brain, and then we respond to this information. For example, if the light light is very strong, your eyes close. Your eyes close because your brain process the information of strong light and eye closed. Yes. Similarly, when you feel the taste is also through the neurons. Yes. Someone touch you, it is because of the neurons. Similarly, we have artificial neurons in our computers. What they do, they take the input, then they process the data, and then they give the output. Okay. So here are some of the examples. You can see these examples in your mind. You can make an image like this. So computer receive input, and inside the computer the process of processing this information happens, and then it gives output. This is how the human brain works, and this is how the computer brain works. Yes. So the input comes from the data, the hidden layer is the process of data, and the output is visible again to the human. For example, in facial recognition technologies or the cameras which are installed in our university, when you go, they look at your face. These cameras look at your face. It is the input layer. Then it processes the information, and when he recognizes that this is the person, student of this university, then it opens the gate. So it is the output layer. This is how the artificial intelligence works. Here is a comparison of human human cell, human neurons, and artificial neuron. So you can say that the functioning of human neuron and artificial neuron is same on functioning level. Yes. So on the left side you can see this diagram of human neuron, and on the right side, on my right side, there is a diagram of the functioning of artificial neural network. Both of them, they are same on functional level. This is even you can say that explanatory image that how this process happens. And here you can compare both artificial neural network and biological neural network. So in biological neural networks, we use biological neurons and nerve cells, but in artificial neural networks, we use silicon transistors. Yes. And then there is a comparison between their sizes and learning capabilities and so on. The point which I'm trying to make is that the functioning of biological neuron and artificial neuron is same. This is the point which I'm trying to make, that how close these machines are with the humans if we talk about the functionality, and the principles are the same principles are being adopted. So what is happening? What is it bringing? It is bringing bringing us to these challenges, that people are becoming more and more emotional and sentimental towards robots. Some people are actually marrying with their robots. You can see that on internet there are numerous examples available. In these examples, you can see that these people have actually married with not only to the robots but even to the holograms. You can go on YouTube and you can find some Japanese people. There are documentaries on YouTube. You can find that they are marrying with holograms. And this is a real example in China. The robo scientist made a robot for itself, and then he claimed a passport. So it is a legal question. It is a legal question that when you become very sentimental about your products, when you have become very sentimental about your robots, it is the same thing as you become very sentimental about your cat or dog or tree or your personal property. Yes. So you want to get the legal protection. Similarly, if a person builds a robot, he can get very sentimental about getting equal rights for his wife, which is robot, but legally speaking, it can be a problem. This is a classic example of the similar analogous case, the Uber or Yandex. This debate has now become classic. You might have heard this in your country as well. For example, if something goes wrong with a passenger who is traveling in Yandex taxi, who will be the responsible? The company Yandex will be responsible, or or the driver will be responsible? The driver is considered as the contractor of the Yandex or employee of the Yandex. So if something went wrongs with the with your, I'm talking about your experience, you are traveling in the Yandex taxi, something goes wrong, and you want to make someone liable, whom you will make liable, to the driver or to the Yandex taxi? What is your answer? Yandex company? Anyone else? Why you think that the company should be liable?
So, Mr. Younas here, I think I would take two approaches in order to solve this question. Firstly, if the driver has been drunk and he was not in a good condition and he was driving, so in this regards, if he makes a fault mistake and because of that mistake the passenger gets injured, in this regards the driver shall be liable. If the car has been equipped with some advanced AI technologies, like let's say sensors as well as some cameras which could follow the satellite's directions or guidance, in this point I think the company shall be liable because of safety requirements and so on.
So I am partially agree with you, but this debate has extensively been a part of academia, and many people have written papers on it. My personal experience is that Yandex is taking responsibility. Uh, Recently, I was driving with a driver, and I felt that he's drunk, and when I at the end I had to give rating, I gave him the bad rating, and also I commented that I think he was drunk. So Yandex, gave me some money, like a voucher. I don't know, 8,000 or 9,000 soms, which I could redeem for my next ride. So Yandex actually took responsibility. But recently, another experience happened that there was a driver, and when he was turning, he actually did an accident, and his tire became flat. It is my personal experience very recently in Tashkent. So he asked me that, please, you may go now because my tire is flat. And I left, and I walked and came to the university, and I gave bad comments, and I wrote that this was an accident and blah blah blah. But Yandex didn't reply. Yandex said that uh, something like this. They said, okay, we will look into the matter and get back to you, but they didn't get back to me. The next day I gave another comment, and I said that you promised me to get back to me, but you didn't get back to me. It could be very worse. I could be, this driver could hurt me. And then they called me from a Russian number, but I didn't pick up the phone, but I knew that these are the Yandex people. So the point which I'm trying to make, that to some extent the company is willing to take the responsibility. Yes, but still in many cases we have seen that it is the pure pure fault is of driver. And you cannot say that the company has anything to do with this. But when it comes to the artificial intelligence or robotics, now I'm bringing this discussion to the original discussion. The matter is much complicated. The intervention of the company is minimum. When the robot takes an autonomous decision, or your robot kills someone, yes, or your robot kills someone's other robot, or damage its personal property, the question become very complicated, that who will take the responsibility, robot itself, or the person you who bought this robot, or the company who manufactured, or the hakmiyat who allowed people to use these sort of personal robots, and so on. But you can, by yourself, you can estimate the legality of this question with regard to the liability issues. Yes. Uh, This is another boom which is happening very soon, and I will not discuss about this. This is about quantum computing. Let's move on. But this is another interesting legal question, the question of agency. Agency, you know, in your legal system also, agency is a very interesting concept. In for general understanding, you can say that representation of one individual, and in terms of legality, you can say that when you give the legal rights to someone else to plea on your behalf, he is considered as your agent. So what if you make a robot as your agency? The question is that how much you can rely on this. Are you satisfied with a robot being your agent? I think that different people might have different takings on this. That some people will be willing to give 100% of their confidence when it comes to, you know, robots being their agents. But I might have some reservations in my own personal case. So when it comes to agency or againstwa, you can say againstwa, it is also a very sensitive topic. That can you make a robot as your pristavitil or again? This is a serious question. We need to think about it. And what and the even interesting thing is that when your agent or pristavitil, which is a robot, further nominates his own again. In our practice, we have seen these cases when you give rights, agency rights to a person, and this person gives agency rights to another person. And this chain goes on like CTV marketing or networking marketing. Just imagine that you give your rights, agency rights, to a person who is a legal person because he is a digital person who'd legally recognized category, or simply speaking, you give rights to a robot and robot gives rights to another person or robot. It becomes very complicated. Yes. So what is the future of agency in terms of autonomous action? What if your robot or your agent or pristavital takes autonomous action? Legality of this scenario. In terms of shared liability by principle, there is a possibility or there can be a legal provision that if your agent or pristavital or robot takes an autonomous decision, you will also be liable. You will share the liability with this person. And in terms of juristic act, what does it mean by juristic act? Juristic act, not all the acts of the humans are legal acts. Not all the acts of the humans are legal acts. Some of the acts, they are legal, some of them they are not legal. For example, I want to eat manti, or I want to eat naran or pulao. It is my personal problem. It is not a legal issue. Yes. But if I want to eat human meat, it is a legal question. It is legally prohibited. So juristic act means your act which is legal, which carries the legal worth. So in terms of juristic acts, there can be complication in future. For example, robots cannot do, I don't think that they will have an independent act. All of their acts should be juristic act in order to ensure, in order to force the liability. Yes. Otherwise, some people will say that this is my robot and he has his personal choice to do something. It should be very complicated. It will become very complicated. Yes, I think you are agree with me that all the acts of the agents, if they are robots, should be considered as juristic act. So in 1997, Dr. Pete Hart said it may be 100 years before a computer beats humans at Go, maybe even longer. Go is a game. Go is a game like chess. It is played in China, Korea, Asia. But in 2016, we saw that this Google program, DeepMind, he defeated the world champion in Go. And then later on, we saw that the AlphaGo was defeated by OneGo, which is even more advanced computing program. And here this graph is showing the learning process of Go, that how he learned to play this game and how much time it took for this to, you know, be able to defeat the strongest sportsman in terms of Go. So it took like 40 years, sorry, 40 days, when this computer program became super intelligent and undefeatable. In 2017, one computer program in poker game destroyed all of his human rival who were very experienced. And when now the question comes that if robot can do everything, what robot cannot do? The answer to this question is that human judgment is very much individualistic in its character. Many people say that the judgment call which human can give, robots cannot give that judgment call. For example, it is something very specific to me. Machines cannot say that so it's in terms of their prediction, in terms of making judgments about the things. I want to eat pulao or I want to eat samsa. It is purely my own human judgment. It depends on my own instincts, for example. Yes, it is something which cannot be replaced by the humans, by the robots. Similarly, when it comes to the prediction, humans still have better prediction, but in some cases robots are doing much better predictions than the humans. For example, when it comes to the baseball, when it comes to the medical reports, robots can do better prediction because they can process the information at a better speed, much better quality, at much better rate. When it comes to the passing of loans, many banks have installed these computing programs who can do the prediction about the client. There's this client should be given a kind of loan or not. The computer program can do this prediction much better as compared to the male or female employee sitting there. So algorithm prediction versus human judgments. Algorithms already outperformed human judgment in many professional fields. Machine learning and prediction. Machine learning technology provides even stronger tool for prediction. And this is something which is very interesting, that the tools are improving exponentially, means that the technology is becoming 2 multiplied by 2, 4 multiplied by 4, 16 multiplied by 16 with this speed. So this was the person called as Morse. Professor Morse proposed Moore's law, and he said that the numbers of transition in a dense integrated circuit will be double approximately every 2 years, which means that the speed of the computing will be doubled. But today we see that the growth of transistors have superseded the Moore's law, and now the people are proposing another law which is called as Hong laws. Hong law is the observation in computer science and engineering that advancement in graphic processing units are growing at a rate much faster than the traditional central processing units. So those of you who have interest in computing, they know that what is a CPU and what is a GPU. So the point which I'm trying to make here is that in terms of technological advancements, we can say that the hardware itself has improved a lot. These are the self-driving cars in 2004. And these are the self-driving cars of today. And this is just a graphical representation of how the machine this autonomous vehicle is working, you can see that very sophisticated, there is no chance that this machine will do any accident. It is being driven by an autonomous computing software, and you can see that they are performing very well when it comes to the dealing with hurdles. And this is also a representation of the same thing. This is the picture of human being doing the same thing without involving computers. And in 2006 we had a robot which was unable to take the stairs. In 2017 we have a robot who can do the back somersaults. And in 2018 this is what is
So this is a good way to break down tutorials. Why are we all lined up? I just
Friends, turn off the microphone, please.
in 2018. By the way, if you will go on YouTube and you will type this Boston dynamics, you will find many more interesting robots. And the point which I was trying to make here, that the robots have become advanced not in terms of their software, but their hardware has also improved a lot. And you can see some of these examples which I have given. There is an exponential growth. And there are some other areas where we can see the exponential growth. For example, the world GDP in last 1,000 years, exponential growth. World population has demonstrated as an exponential growth in the last 1,000 years. And this is the graph shows the users of the Facebook in million. Also you can see that there is an exponential growth. So there are some other areas where we have seen exponential growth. Now the question comes, what is AI ethics? Why is artificial intelligence concerned with ethical issues, and what is the role of human in the age of artificial intelligence? So main debates around artificial intelligence ethics revolves around these three big topics. This is my own categorization. So are you still with me? If you are still with me, I will try to elaborate one by one all of these things. The first question is related to morality of technology. Morality of technology means that how to morally use the robots or any technology. This is a classic debate. Whenever there is a technology, there are positive and negative impacts of technologies. Some people can use the same technology for negative purposes. For example, nuclear technology. It is a technology, but many people are using it for harmful purposes. For example, countries are trying to make atomic bombs, which is considered as a harm to the mankind. On the other side, the nuclear technology is being used for making electricity and other productive purposes for the benefits of mankind. So when we talk about morality of technology means how to morally and ethically use technology. In comparison to this, we have a concept which is called as morality in technology. What does it mean by morality in technology? Morality in technology means that when we make a robot and we want to make this robot an ethical robot or good person, Yes, we want this robot to take good decisions. What kind of moral system we should install inside the robot? So one thing is morality of technology, which means how the humans should use technology morally. And morality in technology means what sort of moral system we should install inside the robot, so that when robot takes autonomous decision, he should take it morally. And then there are fairness, biases, and stereotypes in and towards technology. When we talk about towards technology, we are biased towards technology. We think that technology is harmful. Similarly, if we talk about fairness, biases, and stereotypes in technologies, robots or autonomous system can also be biased towards different autonomous system or the humans. For example, you can install program in facial recognition technology systems that they should discriminate against different ethnicity or the people with black skin. It is possible, yes. So from the both dimension, the use and the morality which is installed inside the technology both poses questions, ethical questions for scientists with regard to artificial intelligence. And then there is AI governance. AI governance means how we should govern artificial intelligence or the new innovation technologies in the country. And then governance with AI, it's mean that what kind of technological instruments or AI embedded system we should use, which can facilitate the process of governing inside the country. And then governing AI means how we should govern the artificial intelligence systems itself, which is that we should think about morality in technology and stereotypes in technology. What are some of the technology concerns? These are some of the technology concerns. People are concerned about losing their jobs. People are concerned about disruptive industries. Many people are talking about income inequalities, privacy, discrimination, autonomy. These are some of the concerns we are all talking about. And why and how the artificial intelligence concerned with ethical issues? It should concern with ethical issues. Some of the reasons I have given here, I will not go into the debate once again. The biggest concern for us as a lawyer is to answer the question that are robots taking our jobs as a lawyer? They are destroying our jobs or not? If we look at some of the other industries, for example, in the middle of 19th century, 90% of Americans worked in agriculture. And today only 2% people are working. It's mean machines have replaced the humans in agriculture industry. So if machines can replace the humans in agriculture industry, it is possible that they can replace the humans in legal industry as well. For example, ATMs, the first ATMs were installed in the 1960s. This was the time when accountants should worried, or the people who were sitting on the kasa in Russian, we say kasa. So people who were sitting on the kasa, they should know that there is an ATM machine and there can be another technology which will tomorrow take my job. So I should upgrade myself. The ATM machines were installed in 1960s. This was the alarm for the people in accountancy that they need to work on their capacity building. If we talk about inequality, people have been traditionally writing on this, that machines will definitely take over their jobs. And today we can see that they are taking our jobs. If we talk about discrimination, I gave the example of facial expressions are discriminated, your emotions can be discriminated, your walking style can be discriminated. There are people who are, threats for certain governments. For example, some governments have some biases against some ethnic groups or linguistic groups or even skin colors. So they can install these technologies into their social surveillance cameras or social surveillance systems, and they can discriminate against these people. So these type of things are happening. The question related to the morality of the technology is something which is settled, I would say, but the question is becoming more difficult related to morality in technology. And the classic example is this trolley problem. For example, this question is for you. that tomorrow if there is a situation that you are standing on a train track and a train is coming and you have the lever, you have a possibility to change the track. The train cannot stop. So either you can let train go and kill 4 people, or either you can let train kill 1 person. This is a moral dilemma. What you will do? You will pull the lever and let train kill 1 person, or you will let the train go and kill 4 people. This is called as trolley problem, classic trolley problem. Now, similarly, just think about the robot. Robot also is unable to decide when a similar situation happens. And many scientists are working on this, that how to accommodate this demand. Self-driving cars, these are the cars which drive by themselves without intervention of humans. And tomorrow if there is a situation that this car has to decide to whom it should run over, for example, there is a scenario that car cannot stop and it has to decide that car should kill an old woman or a small child. How the car will decide? Car will decide to kill an old woman, or car will decide to kill a small baby. So these sort of questions are difficult for the cars to decide, and for the scientists also they are very difficult, that what sort of morality we should install inside this. And the killer robots is a classic example. You can go on YouTube and you can find many videos from the wars where the robots have been used. The killer robots, they kill, you know, they can they wanted to kill the terrorist, but accidentally they killed hundreds of people who gathered there for a wedding ceremony, for example, or for a party, in simple word. Yes, so these sort of mistakes have been done by the killer. That's why they are called as killer robot, that their decision making power is not as strong. Why and how artificial intelligence is concerned with ethical issues, I think that now you have some sort of understanding of it. You can make uh, prediction, you can comment on this question. So artificial intelligence and the children are very sensitive to the new innovation technologies. No one is thinking about them. For example, in China and in America, in the UK, there are facial recognition systems or the surveillance cameras which are installed in the classrooms, and they do the surveillance of the children. And when they can even tell that this child is concentrating or not. If this child is not concentrating, the camera informs to the teacher, and teacher can come and can just slap on the head of this child and say him that why you are not attentive. So these sort of technologies which are being used in schools, or when it comes to the child machine interaction, many sensitive questions are there. These technologies at present are posing a threat for the mental health of the children. Children may start hating these technologies, or tomorrow when he will become a scientist, tomorrow he will say that no, I don't want to study artificial intelligence because I hate it, because in my childhood this artificial intelligence was always spying on me, and that's why I don't want to learn anything about artificial intelligence. Instead of this, I would help those people who are making system against artificial intelligence. This is how the child can take a defensive position in future when he will get a chance. But on the other side, artificial intelligence has numerous benefits. For example, when it comes to the surveillance, when it comes to the providing security, definitely there are benefits. Many security threats have been eliminated just because there were cameras. Yes, for example, on campus, if there are cameras, female uh, students and the female teachers, they feel more protected. Recently, an incident happened in Tashkent. You know that there was a vice dean of a university, and a girl, you know, um, claimed that this person has harassed her, and this case become very famous. Yes, you know about this. So if we have cameras, if we have security system installed on campus, there is a possibility that many people will think twice before doing such sort of things. Yes. Okay, time is less, so I am just trying to see how many slides are left so that I can conclude it.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Professor Ammar, how are you doing? My name is misspelled because I'm using another account, sorry. I wanted to ask an off-topic question, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
I learned about a system created using artificial intelligence to use robots in the public administration. The system detected various offenses and violation and automatically sends a penalty or summons to the account of the offender in the general system for the offense. The system is activated at the time of the actual violation. I think the use of the system violated the right to privacy. The reason is that the voice of the monitor sounds and the environment must always be accompanied by a person. Professor Ammar, do you think this situation really prevents people from keeping their privacy?
So just let me go through this final slide and then I will answer this. Okay, just let me conclude this and then I will take questions and I will answer to your question. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So due to the lack of time, and this is a topic, you know, I can speak for days and days and it is never ending, and there are no right and wrong opinions at present about artificial intelligence, or do we need to make robots our friends or not. But you know, my take on this question, on this whole topic, that do we need to make robots our friends or not, we need to think through these three dimensions, and I quote these three questions. The first question is that we as a lawyer should think that how we can use law to incentivize artificial intelligence, which means that how the lawyers can help and facilitate the process of the scientist and help them to, you know, promote technology. This is the purpose of law. The second purpose of law is to regulate the new innovation technologies, that how we can use new innovation technologies to regulate the existing technological threats and the existing technologies which are there, how we can regulate them by using law. And the third question is that how we can use technology to incentivize new law. This is something which is happening. You can see that when a new technology comes, government has to make new laws. So this is also the purpose of law, to think that how we can use technology to make new laws. So whenever a technology related question comes to you, you should think through the prism of these three questions and you will find an answer. And now I will stop sharing and I will come back to discussion. Yes. So Mr. Abdullah asked a question. I am partially agree with you what you said. I have my own take on this, and I think it also aligns with your concern. You know, it is a very sensitive topic. I am working in a state university. I am working with different governments. Professionally speaking, I align my thoughts with the position of the government. But as a legal scholar, I have my own opinion, and my own opinion correlates with your concern. I also think that it is the violation of individual privacy. I will not take the example of public administration system which you gave. I will give you another example. I will give you an example of facial recognition technology. So what is facial recognition technology? Facial recognition technology is that it enters into your personal space, it discriminates you, it violates your privacy, and many people are making money out of it. Many people are making money out of facial recognition technology. Yes, the people who are making these computers, people who are, you know, making laws and regulations related to this, but it is violation of human privacy, because and many governments are actually promoting it. Many government have actually installed programs to do the same things. My personal views are that it is the violation of privacy, and privacy is a human rights. So anything with regard to this promotion of such technologies is violation of human rights. On the other side, we have no other alternate. If we say that there is a violation of human rights, violation of privacy, then how you will ensure the security? Or in your case, how will you, you know, implement the law with regard to public administration, for example? Yes. So we need to find a balance between our personal choice and the privacy, or the human rights and security. If you need privacy, you have to compromise on security. If you need security, then you have to compromise on privacy. It depends on you what is more important for you. If you want me to remove the cameras, okay, I will remove the cameras. You can have your privacy, but then I will not guarantee you your security. But if you want me to do guarantee, if you want me to give you the guarantee of security, then I must install cameras. And if I will install cameras, they will definitely violate your privacy. So it is a difficult question to find a balance between these two approaches to satisfy the demand of the government and the matter of personal choice, what I want, what I think. And then there is a philosophical understanding of consequentialism, that, or you can say that in more simple word, greater benefit. What will bring to the greater benefit? Now there are also different approaches. Many people think that individual benefits are greater benefits. Many people think that the greater benefit means public benefits. That's why government should decide. So the answer to your question is that yes, my personal opinion is that it is violation of privacy, which is a human right. But on the other side, we don't have alternate. And the difficult question is to set a threshold, minimum threshold, to set standard preferences, and to find a balance between both of these approaches. Any other question?
Thank you, sir.
No question? Okay, if you don't have any question, I will leave you here and we will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think at 3:30. At 3:30, we will meet on campus and we will do some practical exercises. Hopefully, we will do some practical exercises. And I may be late for 10 or 15 minutes because I have to participate in a conference. My speech is at 1:50 and I will try to be on time. But if I get a little bit late, I think your teachers, Muhammad Ali and others, they will revise these slides with you. But I will try to be on time and then we will do some practical exercises on campus. Thank you very much. You can continue if you have continue.